What's going on, guys? This is Ripper once again, back with part 3 of my Pitfall tutorial. If you missed either part 1 or part 2, they will both be in the description. Okay, so now we come to one of the more recent innovations in the route, and that is Monkey Temple Skip here in Flooded Courtyard. So we're going to go over and grab one of the most important things in the game, which is, of course, Heroic Dash. So I mentioned before how Harry has a tendency to be able to walk over air off ledges, which can extend your jumps. Having Dash only exacerbates this feature. So now we can actually dash a whole lot further than you would think and be able to extend our jumps. So just to mention, if you do not want to do Monkey Temple Skip, maybe you're finding it too hard, of course you can come and do Monkey Temple right now and not skip it. Perfectly valid. However, I'm going to be primarily focusing in this tutorial on Monkey Temple Skip. I will showcase the glitch to get into Monkey Temple. I will, however, not be covering Monkey Temple itself. If you want to learn how to do that, I'd recommend watching some older runs. So after getting Dash, we're going to go up here and Rising Strike up here. It's pretty easy to Rising Strike as long as you're quick enough. Now the next bit here is probably the trickiest part. We need to get out of bounds. While out of bounds is not required in this trick, it makes it a lot easier in the long run, and I'd highly recommend you learn this way. So to kind of explain this trick, I'm going to do a bit of free cam action here. So if we take our camera over here, we're looking at this block here, just jutting out from the wall here. So that's the one we're aiming at. We're going to get a bit of an aerial view here, and you can see this block extends a fair way into the wall, and we can walk on this. So we have a little ledge here. If we get out of bounds, we have a much bigger area to work with, and that will help us perform this trick. So that's our goal. But how do we get out of bounds? Well, we're going to double jump up here. Make sure we're double jumping here and not spin kicking. Double jump up here. And now we need to clip through the wall. So what are we going to do? We're going to press the crouch button. So that will get us into a ball, holding forwards. And this will put our hitbox somewhat in the wall. We need to jump, double jump, and clip back and try and clip through the block, and unfortunately we didn't get it. So I'm not going to lie, this trick is not necessarily fully understood, but there are tricks to make this consistent. So what we want to do is, as I showed before, we want to grab this block as far back as we can. So we want Harry to be almost facing diagonally into the wall, let's say 30 degrees. So you don't want him to be facing directly this way, directly to the left from where we're looking. We want him to be facing left and a bit forwards as well. So we're grabbing that block as far into the wall as possible. Another thing to keep in mind is your double jump height. I use as a visual cue, we jump, and the double jump is when Harry's head is about level with the top of that block. So you see Harry's head is about level with the top of the block he's grabbing. The double jump height does matter. So if you're struggling, maybe you're double jumping a little too early or a little too late. Personally, my way to do this is to hold, so I'm holding forward on the joystick and rotate it around to the left fairly slowly, and that ensures Harry grabs as far into the wall as we possibly can. And there we go. So we're through the wall. Sometimes it can take a few goes. Don't be discouraged if this is not consistent for you. It does take a while to get consistent. Okay, so we're through the wall. What now? We're going to use some free cam mode again because this next jump is a little tricky. So we've got to jump over to this block over here. So just to give you a side-on view, Harry needs to jump to the top right to this block here. So as you'll see, there's a fair bit of horizontal distance. A rising strike will not cover this horizontal distance. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to triple jump. This is the last triple jump in the entire run, and it is a tricky one because if you mess it up, you can fall and you'll fall to your death, or you'll fall inbounds and you'll have to try the trick again. Mind you, if you do stuff up the triple jump, so we mess it up, we can just jump back. So if you're nice and quick, you can just and you can just jump back. So that's the way to reset it. You can technically get an infinite number of tries. Okay, so let's try and there you go, we missed it. So you can just fall back in bounds and we can try and do it again. So try and make sure your triple jump is as far forward as you can possibly make it. Now, why is that? Well, I'm going to try and mess this up right now. There we go. So if you're too close, you will bonk on that block. So make sure after you triple jump, delay that double jump just a fraction so you don't bonk on that block there. So what does a proper attempt look like? Well, line yourself up just like this. Get your triple jump nice and over. If you can get your triple jump to go. Again, I'm just resetting by jumping back on. And you can grab the ledge there. Following this, all you want to do, nice easy jump up there. Just make sure you don't get back in bounds because it can be tricky to get it back. And actually, this last jump, you can turn around and you can just rising strike this one. Nice and easy. One more jump, and then one more jump up onto the top of the wall. And that is Monkey Temple Skip. Okay, maybe I lied. It's not quite over, but the hard bit has passed. So what do we do next? Well, we're going to use our dash along here, normally, but I'm going to do it nice and slow for you guys. So the first bit is quite easy. This bit, you do need your dash, so dash out a bit and just double jump. Again, we're using that mechanic where Harry can dash on air. Goes a lot further than you think. We jump over here. And on this bit, make sure you stick to the right side here. If you get too far to the left, you will clip back into Jungle Trail on the top entrance. You don't want to do that. We've done all the hard work. There is a strange invisible wall here that'll push you off. So just make sure you can jump over that. Then we come down here. Rising strike up here. Another rising strike up here. Or you can spin kick up that one. Now this bit can be hard. Ideally, you want to dash and land on that platform there. However, the safe way, you can just do this. And of course, if you're up here for the first time, you do not want to fall down. Now to finish this trick off, we're just jumping up here, and we'll reposition our camera up here. We've got a long tunnel there. We can just jump, double jump, and fall in the tunnel here. We walk a bit backwards and a bit forwards, and we're through to 20 outbursts. Easy as that. But Rippy, you're saying, this is too hard. I just want to do good old Monkey Temple. Well, you are in luck. We're going to go over here. We may as well grab the heel. Over here. Just some nice parkour here. Like a nice use of those spin kicks to avoid ledge grabs. We're going to do a backwards vine jump, and we're going to jump on this pole. That's the quickest way to get up here, and then we can just dash over to this main area here. So what do we do from here? Well, we're going to do a bit of dashing. We're going to need to jump over here. So do that delayed jump again. We can dash a bit on there. Dash all the way over here and right to the back here, and we're going to jump in here. And once we're in here, we used to need Smash Strike for this, and if you do have Smash Strike, it will work. You can find some more runs with that. So the easiest way to do this, roll once, instant spin kick, and then we just want to spam dash. And you'll see Harry slowly sliding in, and once you're through, let go of dash, or else you'll dash way out over into the abyss here. You don't want to do that. And now we're clicked in. You can dash over here, walk over here, and you can see the load zones over here, and we just jump into it, and that's Monkey Temple. So now that hard bit's out of the way, you can put your feet up for the next minute or so of the run. We're going to get to the easy bit. So we'll dash over here, going to roll into this ladder, avoiding that very, very slow ladder grab animation. And then we get to the auto scroller. I'm only pressing A at this stage. Only thing here, dodge that ladder again. So now we need to grab 5 more idols for our breakdance later on. So we're going to get our sling, slap those guys up there. That allows us to jump up, rising strike up here, grab this explorer. Now the normal way to go up this next bit is to grab that ladder over there, but as I said, ladders are very slow. We want to avoid that if we can. Now how do we do that? Well, after grabbing a quick heal, very convenient heal right here for anyone who's low on health, we're going to jump over to this rock here, and this is a fairly tricky rising strike, so it can't be aimed totally left because you'll miss the ledge. You can't aim totally forward. It's got to be somewhere in between. So it's actually a little further left than you think. It's about this angle. Okay, not quite that angle. As I said, it's a pretty precise angle here. And there we go. There's that angle there. So it is a bit of a tricky rising strike there. So don't be frustrated if you can't get it, because you do get a few tries of it. So it does help if you get right to the edge of the rock here. And it allows you to kind of ride the wall and grab the ledge. So now, my friends, we come to the last route diversion of the run. And that is a trick that has been thus far so hard that it has not been performed in an any % run yet. So in Turtle Monument, we get a move called Heroic Dive, which enables us to perform the early geyser skip, which we'll be covering in just a couple of minutes. It is possible to perform this skip without dive, however, it is extremely hard, and I think I will leave it for another video. So today we're going to cover the current any % route. However, if this changes, I will put something in the description and possibly an annotation on the screen. You can go check out the brand new tutorial of the diveless geyser. But enough about diveless. Today we're going to be covering the regular setup with heroic dive. So we're going to go over to the turtle here, and unfortunately this next bit is very dark, and no, do not adjust your monitors. It is going to be that dark. So this next part is a bit annoying because you have guys throwing coconuts at you for the entire time. But if you're really struggling with this trick, I recommend going into it with torch, finding your setup, seeing where everything is placed so you can get a feel for the room before doing it completely in the dark like you're going to have to do right now. So one trick I use is you'll see a bright light at the back here. So I always keep that at the back of the camera because that gives a silhouette, and I use that as a visual cue. So I go over here and we need to get on this, and I'm using that silhouette. We're gonna go up in here and we're just gonna kill these guys because it makes it a bit easier to show. So you can see if it's over here, we can't see anything, but if it's over here, we can see it in the silhouette. To our right, we've got a ledge. We're going to double jump, and we're on a ledge. And yep, we get the ledge up, that's fine. Usually we dash around here. There's a ledge around the top here, and there is a dude there. And unfortunately doing this slow, I'm just going to kill these guys. Unfortunately doing this slow means I'm getting hit by coconuts. But it enables me to show you this a few times, because it is a little tricky. So even I'm struggling with this. You can see. And I'm just trying to keep this in the background so I can kind of see. I'm going to dash this time. Dash around there, and yeah, we fell off. This is not an easy trick to kind of pick up. So I'm going to go around here, and I know there's a dude there. I'm going to rotate my camera so we can see kind of where the ledge is. And I kind of have a feel where Harry is. He's already at the center of the screen, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to get our ghost torch and heroic dive. Okay, so now we have both heroic dive and we have in our hand the torch. Now we don't have the torch. It's not in our inventory. So between this point and where we light the TNT to get through the ice wall, we cannot lose this torch. Keep that in mind. If you fall in the mud, get hit at all, you will lose your torch. Keep that in mind. So we're going to come down here, run, and I always take a few steps. Because falling in that mud means effectively a reset if you don't know the ice wall skip setup, which again I'm not covering here because it is part of the diveless setup. So up we come, and we're going to jump up here. And stay away from those baby monkeys. Getting hit by a mama monkey will, again, lose the torch, which is going to be also important in just a minute here. So the next trick we're about to do is, I guess you'd call it early teleporter. Doesn't really have a name, and that's because it is probably one of the earliest glitches that was found in this game, well before I was on the scene, well before a lot of people were on the scene. So this is a very early glitch that's still used today, which I find quite cool. So how we do it, we need to scale this wall. We're going to double jump, and you can see you can dash on this wall. And I use as my visual cue this dark seam that Harry's head is just above right now. So if we go to the right of that seam, we just want to duck to the right of that seam. You see Harry all of a sudden go up, and you can dive, or you can just normal double jump up to this spot here. So up here, and as I showed you the double jump there, rising strike up here, and just double jump onto the rocks there. Nice and easy. And this next bit can be a little bit cumbersome. If you're having trouble, I recommend diving to the left there where Harry's looking, but the quick way is to do it over here. So we're going to try it here. So we do the dash out over there, and it doesn't really matter if you get the dive or not. I unfortunately had to back it up and fall onto there. The quick way is to jump into the log there. So I'll attempt to show you the quick way now, if I can get it. There we go. Now just be warned, if you go too far to the right or don't quite make your jump, you will clip back into twin outposts, which unfortunately will lose you a bit of time. Not a run killer, just a bit annoying. So what do we do next? Well, you can use the camera angle, or you can go by feel. We've got a little tunnel under us here. Just jump down into that. Don't worry about blowing up that TNT. Just run on into teleporter. So just as a bit of a handy tip for people struggling with heroic dive, I find it easier. If you want to do an instant heroic dive, you need to be dashing and then jump. Now sometimes it'll come out, sometimes it won't. So the best way I found, I have my dash mapped to the Y button on the GameCube controller. So what I do is I flick my thumb down from Y to A, and I always get a heroic dive. So that's my trick. If you want to remap your keys to do that, that's cool. You don't have to, but that's the way I do it. Okay, guys, so I just want to warn you, everything up till now has been basically easy compared to what you're about to do in the teleporter room here. Now, I'm really sorry. The run just gets absurdly hard here. This is basically every reset in the run is in this room. So I'm sorry about that, guys. So what you need to do is you need to run and you need to stop here. So if you go anywhere else other than here, you can't teleport. So make sure you stop right here. Now, if you're low on health, grab this heal. Now, this is a frame perfect jump to get in this here. So, oh, luckily I got it there. Luckily I got it. So that's actually frame perfect. And to get out, another frame perfect trick. So I have to press A on a frame to get out of there. So, you know. And then we go to this next teleport. And again, you have to stop right somewhere on that pad. And that is really, really precise. So I'm sorry if you guys are having trouble with this. If you guys are having trouble with the teleport room, let me know in the comments. But, you know, even I struggle with this room. I'm not sure how I can help. Okay, so all jokes aside, we are actually coming up to a hard bit of the run here. So we have a bit of powder in front of us, and we have a ghost torch. You know what that means? So normally you could, you know, use a C-stick to tilt it down and get the powder, or we could just roll over it. Much easier. And that's going to blow up this ice ball for us. If you stick to the right there, you won't get blown up by the TNT in most cases. Now we can click any button, put away that torch. We no longer need it. So we then want to dash over here, right over past to this geyser here. So what do we do when we get here? Well, we need to get under this ice. Now, normally you can't get into this effectively what will be a quick travel unless you have TNT, which is what we're about to go and get. So it is a bit of a catch-22 here, I know. What we need to do is we need to perform what is called early GeyserTM, found by Gary, because I know if I didn't mention that, he would get mad at me. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up and find a particular seam in the wall. So we've got two rocks here, rock over here, and we're going to get to this bit of an indent into the wall here. So once you're at this indent in the wall over here, we're going to turn the camera to the right here, and hopefully not. Yep, there we go. Camera can be a bit tricky, and you'll see this little seam here. So I'm actually going to get the free camera on this. And you can see it slopes, it goes across from the indent and then it slopes downwards. Now this downward sloping bit is the spot we're looking for. So after finding the seam in the wall, we're going to run against it and we're going to roll into a ball just by tapping the crouch button and then let go of roll. Now Harry will actually stay in a ball, and because he's under a ceiling, or what the game considers a ceiling, he will stay in a ball and it will actually push him into the ground. So we're going to tap roll here. And unfortunately sometimes you can get a bit stuck in there. We want to get the right spot here. So we want to hold against the wall, and then let go as he clips through. If you keep holding forward, you can walk off the edge here. So you want to avoid doing that if possible. So now we're actually kind of on a bit of an invisible plane here. So we want to get under that. So the plane only goes up, and let's see if I can get Harry teetering on the edge of it to about there. So that's the edge right there. So we're going to walk left and then back really quickly, like that. So I'll just show you that again by reloading the save state. So we walk left and right, and Harry usually has a pretty magnetic grab, and we're going to grab back onto that. So this next part requires a bit of practice and a bit of feel and a bit of knowledge and just a bit of everything. I'm going to show you my setup. I also have an extra video on this, which I'm going to link in the description, where I go into it in a bit more detail, but I'm going to show my setup for this. Again, you can use it, you don't have to. Completely up to you. Maybe you'll find a better way to do it and you think, Ripper, why'd you do this way? You're an idiot. So what we've got to do, we've got this ice wall here. And again, we're going to use some free camera mode. So we need to get under this ice. So this ice is actually the same ice that is preventing us from getting in on the surface. So what we need to do is dash out using the fact that Harry can dash on air for a bit, which is only kind of exacerbated on slippery surfaces. You can actually dash even further. So what we're going to do is we're going to dash out, wait for Harry to drop just a tiny bit, and then we're going to use Heroic Dive to dive back in the opposite direction after turning around in midair. I know that's a lot to take in, and it'll happen very quickly when I do it in a sec, or fail it in a sec. Who knows? I haven't done it for a while. So what we need to do is dive directly back to this column here, and there is a fairly generous, invisible, grabbable surface about here where that bit kind of bulges out. So that's what you're aiming for. As long as you roughly hit this central column, you'll generally ledge grab. Unfortunately, that is the trick, actually hitting that central column. So we're going to run directly at that corner there, dash out a bit, let Harry drop just a fraction, and then I'm going to dive directly to my left in the controller notch, directly left. So that's just my setup. That's just how I do it. Feel free to come up with any other setup you want that works. You can do it on other bits of this ice sheet here. Perfectly valid. Figure out your own way and make sure it sticks. So I'm going to give it one quick go here and dive left. And I just missed it, it looks like, unfortunately. So maybe I'll adjust there. Maybe I'll just dive a fraction further back than I'm thinking. And I think I got it there. And I dived right into it. Awesome.